Everybody, and welcome back. So this is going to be a bit of a longer story, but this is a very truthful story, and there will be some things in all of this. Okay, this is just so you get to know me a little bit better. I'm going to just say a story which is true. So when I was younger, I caught my ex. I was breastfeeding, and he had one of his male friends over, and he did this quite often. But this one night, like, this male friend, he stayed until like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, but I was breastfeeding, so I went to sleep because I thought, I'm really tired. When you breastfeed, you know, you have to. I breastfed for 3 years, okay, and you know, when you just get tired, it just tires you out. So I left them. I thought they were just chatting, and I heard it went quiet sometimes, but I didn't. I was just thinking, oh, why are they going quiet? Are they whispering or what's happening? But for about half an hour, 3/4 an hour, it went really, really quiet. So I went out into the kitchen because we lived in a flat, and I just wanted to see, what are you doing? And I came out, and they were both completely butt naked. One was like knelt down, like he was giving him a blowjob, and the other one was stood up. My partner jumped up, and I said, what are you doing? What are you both doing? And he said, we were hot. We took all our clothes off because we were hot. And I was like, no, why are you both naked? Why are you both butt naked? And it ended in a massive argument that his friend, because I was saying, you got to go. Like, you got to go, Jordan. You got to go. And his friend left, okay? His friend was gay, but I didn't know my partner was also bisexual. So when I was like brought up, my dad is Christian, and I was brought up in a home when I really liked everyone. I really loved it. I remember I had two gay friends, and I brought one of my gay friends home, and my dad just said, get him out of my house, get him out of my house, dirty man, get him out. I don't want no gay men in here. Because back years and years ago, it was like a bad thing. So you have to see how we all evolve and how you are taught as a child that something is wrong, but it isn't wrong. It's how you change as a human being as you grow older. And sometimes God wants us to like accept everyone, that they put certain situations in our life so we can understand it a bit more. So when that happened, I really was faithful, and I thought, like, I'll stay with somebody. It doesn't matter what goes on. We can sort this out. Like, we just stick together. We can get through this. And I kind of just ignored that, and I just carried on the relationship. Like, I didn't see that. That was in my head. Like, maybe I was just really tired. Maybe they were just hot. Maybe they were naked because they were hot. Maybe he was picking something off the floor. I made up so many excuses for the man, but because he was very sexual towards me, I found it very unusual, thinking, well, if he's like this with me, I'm a woman, then why would he want to be with men? Like, this is confusing to me. Further on in the line, when he was in his drug dealing times, he asked me to take him. So say there's like north, east, west, south, okay, there's streets around. He asked me to take him to the opposite street of where I lived, and he needed to be driven there. So I drove him there, and I also had to drive him to the gym because he needed to get steroids. And then I said, I'll come in with you. And he said, oh, you can't come into this man's house. And I said, why can't I come into his house? And he said, because he injects cocaine. And I was like, what? You can inject cocaine? I never thought you could inject cocaine. What happens when you inject cocaine? And he's like, no, it's just really stronger. So I wasn't understanding that my partner at the time was injecting with other men. And I didn't understand that he was actually sleeping with other men for money. When I found out, like a couple of months after that, when we were like just, I don't know, we were like just talking, and like it just came out. And he said men pay more than women, and that's why he chose to sell himself to men, okay? I freaked the fuck out because I found all the thousands of pants, and I found like people in the old schools naked pictures. Like I found, so it was all freaking me out. I remember like just thinking, I can't do it. I can't do anything with you sexually because I just feel like, what the hell, who are you? What are you doing? This is confusing to me. It was all very confusing to me because I wasn't used to that kind of life like that. Okay, that was a bit out there for me. The pants, taking people's pants, all the drugs, his friends injecting cocaine. It was all a bit too much, okay? And then I decided to go for this ayahuasca retreat. I don't know if it was my second one or my third one. But I think it was like I had a free holiday from the owners to go there. I didn't pay for that holiday. They literally invited me there. So I got like a 5-day free ayahuasca retreat, and it is like at the best place ever. And when I went there, I wanted to see in my ayahuasca like some visions of like like, where am I going wrong? Why didn't I see all this stuff in my relationship? Why was I like so blinded? Why did I believe this person just loved me? And when I went there, no joke, guys, there was about 12 people in the retreat and every single person was gay. The instructor, the shaman, was gay. My friend, who was a female, was gay. My male friend there was gay. I had a tick at the time just saying puff, puff, puff. Everything bad that came into my head, I don't know what it was, I just puff, puff, puff. And I had it for absolutely years. It was like 3 years of like when something bad comes in, because I was trying to stay very positive and not speak about my feelings. So that just puff, puff like that. It was a way of getting things out. But now I used to actually vocalize how I'm feeling, and I try and work out with actually the truth and actually going back into memories and working it out with the truth. And that's how I heal. But back then it was just like puff, puff. It was just like a tick. I don't know what that was. And it was weird because people thought it was funny, and it was actually really traumatizing for me, actually. And like, if you notice how your brain reacts to trauma, like when you say things and it repeats that one word, it really traumatizes you because you want to stop it. You want to change the word. You want to change how you're feeling and like how it's coming out, but it just happens. And it's your body's way of, there's stagnated negative energy inside and it needs to come out. After that ayahuasca, I never actually had that tick, which ayahuasca took away ticks. So I don't know what that was. It's negative energy stored in your body. But during this ayahuasca, it was great because like I found out so many things. Like in England, we call cigarettes fags. Not everywhere, but in Bristol, we call it fag, you know? And when I went abroad, and that was when I went to Spain, like people kept saying to me, you can't say fag, that is really, it's disrespectful, you can. And I said, honestly, I don't mean things in the way I say it, I'm just how I am, I just say things. And luckily one of my friends there was just like, she's just how she is, just leave her. And everybody was nice to me because I was just, I'm sorry, I think I say everything to anyone, you know? And by the end of the holiday, the 5-day retreat, I'm not joking, the amount of love I had for every single person at that retreat, the healing that they gave me was incredible. Not only did I heal from like my ex-partner, I thought, oh, if he wants to be with men, let him be with men. Why is that going to affect me, who he's sucking dick? That doesn't affect me. That's his body. Let him do what he wants with his temple, you know? And when I met all of these amazing gay people at the retreat, I thought, how the hell can you hate someone because they're gay? How can you actually talk bad about someone because they're gay? How can you like reject someone and push them out of the group because they're gay? You have to look deeper of what the problem is you're feeling, Mary. And the problem wasn't that people are gay. The problem was that I felt that I was in a traditional relationship. I felt like the man made me cook food from a certain time. I had to stay in. I had to dress a certain way. I had to act a certain way. I wasn't allowed to talk about certain things. I had to feed. I had to go shopping. Everything was so controlled, like a religious Christian, but he wasn't acting of God. Do you understand that? Going with that many hundreds of people, men and women, that wasn't right to do to a woman, especially when you have a baby with them. That wasn't right to do. That was gross, sick, freaky. But to hide his shame, he was trying to make me look shameful because I knew so much truth about him. But that is a true story. And I think God will bring you around people, and it's like, that's because you have to shut your fucking mouth, Mary. Be careful what you say. And it was a really good, healing process. Just to tell you that sometimes you go through trauma and it's like, it's not trauma. God's trying to wake you up. You were taught the wrong way from a child. And sometimes God's got to put something straight in your face so you actually accept it and you hurt, and then you heal from the hurt and pain. And then you actually can see things through a different way of life, you know? And like now in life, if somebody said to me like they were a girl and they wanted to become a boy, I would think, go for it. If that's how you truly feel, you go for that. But be honest. Like, that's one thing about my ex-partner, is like when he was with boys, with me, and then boys, and then it's another weird thing because the partners were very mannish after. So like I was very concerned, am I mannish as a woman? It made me go through a lot of insecurities. Like, am I a boy? Am I a man? Like, does he like, if he likes men, am I a man? Like, it made me feel really insecure, and it took my femininity away from me as a female. It hurt. it took all of that feminine energy that I straight away went into my masculine energy, started wearing trousers, tying my hair up, like everything was so mannish, no makeup. I can see that because it's traumatizing. Like when I was in my feminine, I got put down and called a slag and a slut and gross and all these horrible things, but really he was gay. And that's why he talked to me like that. That's why he treated me so badly. And that man has married a woman now. And I heard her voice and it was really scary because like I honestly get these visions, but like if he turned off the lights at night, like that, very similar to a man, the voice. So it's kind of scary, but it's like, it's freeing, isn't it? Because you see like what someone truly likes, but you're like, that's why you chose that woman, because she's very mannish, walking, like stocky walking. But it's not even just the stocky walking, it's the voice. It's very mannish and very deep, not husky, it's deep, you know? And there's nothing wrong with deep voices. It's just when the lights go off at night and, you know, hello, come to me, touch me, I love you. It would be very, very deep. And it actually all makes sense to me now about the bisexual thing and how it can be happening, okay? But the main thing, guys, is like, because I'm traumatized from what happened, but you have to be very honest with your partners in the start of your relationships. That's the most important thing, you know? And somebody will say, yeah, okay, I accept that you suck dick and you lip. I accept both. You like the bum and you like the fun. I don't know. But if somebody isn't comfortable with that, they might say, no, I don't want to do that. And you're not the right person for me. And another way around that, guys, is like with me, if somebody would have told me they were acting that way with hundreds of different people, having sex behind my back, I wouldn't have been so traditional. I would have gone out and had a life. I would have gone clubbing. I would have had friends. I would have actually enjoyed my youth. So you can't trap people in traditions and be demonic souls. And then at the end, marry people and act like you're a nice, normal person, because you're not. You've had a really crude, weird life and you've destroyed people's lives, their families, their egos, you've destroyed a lot. And you can't hide the past. It's about being truthful, going forward with the truth today. Stop lying about your past, be honest, and we can move forward from that.